There was a delay. The exchange got moved back. Jason was out when the call happened. I didn't know.
It was your job to know.
The mystery of Eryn's role and task is one of the most fascinating threads running beneath the chaos. On the surface, she looks like an ally, slipping Robbie and Cliff exactly the information they need about the dark hearts. But the deeper you look, the more her actions feel calculated, purposeful, and strangely dangerous. Because the question isn't just why she's feeding them intel, it's what does she stand to gain by doing it. Robbie and Cliff see her as a lifeline. Each time they hit a wall, Eryn is there with a key, a file, and a whispered secret that cracks the puzzle open. Without her, their progress against the Dark Hearts would have been slower, maybe even impossible. But Eryn's consistency is suspicious. No one risks themselves this much without a motive, and that's where the layers begin to unfold. The most straightforward explanation is betrayal. Eryn could be disillusioned with the Dark Hearts, maybe even directly victimized by them in the past. Every secret she passes along could be her form of revenge, a slow dismantling of the machine from within. But betrayal in task is rarely that simple. If she were just trying to bring them down, why not escape entirely? Why stay close to them, risking exposure every time she leaks a new piece of intel? It feels less like revenge from the outside and more like strategy from within, which leads to a darker possibility. What if Eryn isn't helping Robbie and Cliff at all? At least, not in the way they think. What if every piece of information is part of a larger design, leading them not away from danger, but straight into it? Feeding them intel could be a way of controlling the path they take, of making them feel like they're in charge, when really they're being herded exactly where she or the Dark Hearts want them. If this is true, then Robbie and Cliff aren't allies with Eryn, they're pawns, and her information is the leash around their necks. But then there's the possibility of a personal connection. Maybe Eryn isn't just acting out of ideology or manipulation. Maybe her link to Robbie or Cliff runs deeper. A family tie, a past alliance, a debt she feels she owes. If that's the case, her information sharing becomes more tragic than tactical. Every risk she takes isn't just about taking down the Dark Hearts, it's about protecting them, specifically. In that case, Eryn's secret war against the Dark Hearts is both external and internal, a tug-of-war between loyalty to them and the dangerous reality of where she still lives. And here's the wildest possibility, the one that would reframe everything. What if Eryn isn't betraying the Dark Hearts at all, but testing Robbie and Cliff? What if this is all a loyalty trial, designed to see how they operate, how far they're willing to go, and how much they can be trusted before the Dark Hearts either recruit them or destroy them? If that's the case, then every whispered secret, every carefully leaked document, is bait. And when the trap finally snaps, it won't just devastate Robbie and Cliff, it'll devastate us as viewers, because it means Eryn's role has been a mask all along. No matter which theory proves true, the brilliance of Eryn's role is the uncertainty. Every piece of information could be salvation, or sabotage, or something more complicated that we can't yet see. What we do know is that her motives are bigger than kindness. In task, nothing is free, and no one helps without a reason. Which means, Eryn's secrets are the most dangerous kind of weapon. The kind that looks like gifts until the moment they explode. The Task Episode 3 did more than reveal that there is an informant on Tom's team. We also finally got to see who among the Dark Hearts was feeding information to Robbie and Cliff. It's revealed to be Eryn, Jason's wife. As it turns out, Eryn had been having an affair with Robbie's brother Billy, which is why Jason beat him to death. After Billy's death, Eryn and Robbie came together with a plan to get rid of Jason. Eryn provided information about drug houses, and Robbie robbed them. It was doubly beneficial, as Robbie received extra cash, while the situation itself reflected poorly on Jason. Of course, the bloody aftermath of Robbie and Cliff's most recent break-in made a much bigger mess of things. What Cliff being found out by the task force means for Robbie, both Tom's task force and the Blackhearts now know about Cliff in task. This means that both the feds and the motorcycle gang are only one step away from discovering that Robbie is the one behind these break-ins. Tom already knows that Cliff works for Waste Management, and it's only a matter of time before he discovers who the man's closest colleague is. Of course, the Dark Hearts may figure this out first, which would likely be even worse news for Robbie and his family than a criminal arrest. Tom won't have the full benefit of his task force, since he now has to tiptoe around the possible informant. Additionally, Tom's personal issues could get in the way of an effective investigation. Why Tom can't forgive his son Ethan in Task. Another significant reveal of Task thus far is that Tom's wife was killed by their adoptive son Ethan. Now in prison and awaiting sentencing, Ethan is implied to have a significant psychological condition and was off his medications for a period during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is when he pushed Tom's wife down the stairs, killing her. We finally had a chance to meet Ethan in this Task episode, and it's evident that he is extremely remorseful for what he did. Tom had previously defended Ethan too, but he couldn't bring himself to visit his son in prison. In Task Episode 3, following his head injury, Tom finally revealed that he simply can't forgive Ethan. The death of his wife was too painful,